Fight man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV.
All right, check out our new sponsor, Greenwood Stocks. They want you to know how to be able to trade stocks and be your own boss and be free to travel the world by making passive income. We all need that passive income from stock market. What are you waiting for? Call or text 281-760-3170. If you didn't catch that, that's on your screen. Or check them out at social media, Greenwood Stocks, and catch them at Gmail, greenwoodstocktrading at Gmail, and the YouTube channel is Greenwood Stocks. Appreciate them for giving me the opportunity. Check them out. We out. All right, man, we got a long video. Let's get to it, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Share the video. We're going to talk about Bud telling Virgil Ortiz to fight Velasquez. Jamal Charlo rumored to fight Montiel. Teofimo Lopez is dead. Talking about Haney. We had Bill Haney on yesterday. Shout out to Bill. But basically said they only fighting on pay-per-view. But let's start with Oscar De La Hoya. Now, some interesting thing about Oscar De La Hoya I heard yesterday. From the plug in, it said that De La Hoya was originally supposed to fight on the Teofimo Lopez card with George Camboso. What happened was De La Hoya wasn't prepared. Whenever that fight is, maybe early June, he wasn't prepared to fight on that card. So it wasn't that they didn't have an opponent in mind or they didn't have the money. De La Hoya physically wasn't ready. If you like, well, what are you talking about? Well, De La Hoya announced yesterday that that he's going to come back on Triller. Now, I don't know why the Zone didn't want to put the money up. You know, him and Oscar De La Hoya or Canelo Alvarez would have been probably a multi-billion-dollar fight. But I guess Oscar was smart enough not to fight Triple G. Said he ain't want to fight him. He know damn sure he ain't messing with Canelo Alvarez. Even the other day, he said that he could see him and Canelo Alvarez working again together. So he sounded pretty confident when he said that. But with De La Hoya and fighting on Triller and supposed to be on the Teofimo Lopez undercard, or I guess with the heel undercard. I mean, I guess it would have gave him more cachet. I mean, because you make that the main event. I'm not really sure. But with De La Hoya, I mean, he probably going to come back. People saying Tito Ortiz, he trying to target Mayweather in the second fight, but I do think Oscar De La Hoya is more likely to go and fight an ex-UFC fighter because his beef he got with Dana White. How they going back and forth, but at the same time, I mean, why would Dana White give up one of his champions? Unless he told Khabib, you want to fight one last time, you can box Oscar De La Hoya in an exhibition, but maybe Conor McGregor, especially with Conor just losing. But then you think about what Conor McGregor might want to get back in the ring and be more active and get in the win column a couple times and worried about UFC. You got Clarissa Shields like Conor McGregor trying to learn Well, she know boxing, but trying to learn the other sports, MMA, and do it at the same time. Can't do it. I mean, you could do it, but, in your prime as a boxer, even if you're a female or male boxer, you're really trying to perfect your sport. If you MMA, perfect that. Then worry about boxing later. If you boxing, perfect that. And she hasn't perfected boxing yet. She's a very amateurish style. And she only got, 9, 10 fights. But if she starts to perfect that style, it's going to be over with. She might really be the greatest woman of all time. And I'm not going to say she the GOAT right now, just to say I'll wait till her career is over with and I'll stamp her that approval. But I love Clarissa Shields. But at the same time, just master boxing. Or if you're going to go to MMA, just worry about MMA and come back to boxing. That should be the thing. Don't try to mix them up. Both master something, then worry about master something else. But, with McGregor, it's just like him and De La Hoya going to do hella numbers. If it's 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, 15 rounds, him and De La Hoya going to make something jump. They going to make the trap say, hey. So I think that'll be other than Floyd Mayweather, you think McGregor will probably be the best opponent. Then maybe a Trinidad, because we know Khabib ain't coming back out, but maybe a Trinidad, Fernando Vargas, Felix Sturm, because, he owe Felix Sturm. He got a gift right there. What I Corte doing? What another one maybe he should think about fighting. Maybe if he fight again, maybe Zab Judah. If Zab Judah is good after that Cletus Sheldon fight, why not Zab Judah? Zab Judah just retired. He not going to fight Roy. Roy a little bit too big. Andre Ward, might be a little bit too big. But at the same time, I mean, is Zab just a little bit too active for him? What is old boy doing? His son fighting at Tim Zoo. Costa Zoo, doing? He don't want to fight Randall Bailey, but Ali Funka. I mean, There's some guys out there that he can fight. There's some guys out there that he can legit fight. Why not fight Chavez Jr.? He might be a little bit too big for De La Hoya at this point, but I mean, De La Hoya got options. But I think the perfect fight, financially, is Mayweather then McGregor. But the fight also Miguel Cotto, he been retired for a while, so he got some options, dude, and we have to wait and see. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard's just too old. Thomas Hearns too old. James Toney, he ain't talking too good these days. But when Bill Haney told us yesterday that Mike McCullum had gout, he way too old. But I mean, it'd be interesting to see pretty much how it's going down. But all right, man, I ain't got my computer in front of me. My laptop dead, but bear with me. But Teofimo Lopez, basically his father, going around saying that they only fighting on pay-per-view, and if Bob Arum, if they go back to Top Rank, they only fighting on pay-per-view. And that he told Bob Arum that when he signed his son, like, he gonna pull this company up. All right. He talked about Devin Haney, so I'll get to that towards the end. If I forget, just remind me. I'm probably gonna go live after the Dillian White fight and we could talk about that. But I shouldn't forget. But basically said, if they go to Top Rank, it's only fighting on pay-per-view. Said my son got all the belts. We got established yesterday Devin Haney is a WBC champion, so Teofimo Lopez ain't undisputed, according to Wikipedia, according to BoxRec. Back that up if you question the Wikipedia. But, I mean, I don't think he a big enough star to go on pay-per-view. We only fighting on pay-per-view, go back to Top Rank. I mean, I guess you stay on Triller, it's only pay-per-view, so, I mean, you didn't burn the bridge before you had to burn it. Colluding with George Camboso, so it didn't have to be like that. You didn't have to burn that bridge, in my opinion. Now, legally Bob Arum can hold you up, but the only reason he can't hold you up because he got belts. So he can just keep asking for mandatories after mandatory after mandatory. If the WBC order him and Devin Haney to fight, that's another fight. They can do that, but you just don't want to burn that bridge. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he pay-per-view ready. You can put him up against Ramirez and Taylor winner if they don't have to have a rematch or whatever. It won't be pay-per-view worthy. Maybe in the UK, but you can't put that on pay-per-view. It takes a certain amount of steps towards that to do that. Your son, he ain't known enough. He got to maybe go on a European tour or something, or open his mouth just a little bit more, but he ain't pay-per-view material right now. And that's okay. What, he 22, 23, 24 years old, somewhere in there, 25? It's okay for you to go on pay-per-view. There's only, really one fight, and that's for Devin and Shakur. It's one fight right now, unless Oscar Valdez beat Lomachenko. Maybe throw that in there. But it's one fight, and that's Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is the ticket to pay-per-view, okay? So, I mean, for them to yell, we only going on pay-per-view, and if we go back to Top Rank, you burn the bridge. Just sometimes you just talk too much. Stop going to the media. As long as you talk to Bob and keep it behind scenes, I think Bob will be able to work with them. But Bob said he ain't giving them Mikey, and I mean not Mikey, but they did say they ain't Mikey Garcia. They got 4 belts, but he ain't giving them Ramirez and Taylor. He said that already. So unfortunately, unless they can rebuild that bridge, which I was ignorant by his father. His father, and I like his father. Don't get me twisted, but it ain't. We ain't got to be loud and go to the media about this, and just talk to Bob. And when things go to the media, that's when Bob get angry. But it's between them. But they said if they want to, they can't get the Ramirez and Taylor winner, that they want to go ahead and fight Devin Haney and clear that undisputed stuff up. So they say they fight Devin Haney, but like Bill came on and said they really don't want to fight. It ain't Bob. They don't want to fight. So we got to see. I actually want to see that fight happen. They said they asked, according to the article I read on Boxing News 24, and some other rumors that Teofimo Lopez asked for $10 million to fight Devin Haney. Who give you that type of money? I'm not gonna pay that for that fight. Bob not gonna damn sure pay that for that fight. So the opposition ain't paying that. Teofimo Lopez think he bigger than what he is. It wasn't like Terrence Crawford went up to welterweight after becoming undisputed and said, nigga, I want $10 million. No, his deal say what, $3.5 to $4 million a fight minimum. And he ain't more popular than Terrence Crawford. And obviously he younger. But that's just the facts. He's not more popular than Crawford, but he fight Haney, that's gonna be a spectacle. I think a lot of people want to see that and hear some things in that Haney got the best of him in sparring. Teo had a moment. We'll just see, but let's move on, all right? We could just talk about Jamal Charlo. It's rumors that he supposed to fight Montiel, okay? I mean, I don't want to see that. I've never seen Montiel fight, so I'm just, based on his resume, I don't want to see that, man. But if he fight Montiel, and, Benavidez out there, he's not going to be able to let that down. Demetrius Andrade after that, after he fight Montiel, he had to fight Benavidez, Triple G. Well, him and Triple G and negotiate. But if he don't get Triple G, which I don't think he is, he got to fight Andrade Benavidez. Minimum. And I don't think he want to fight those type of dudes. So, it's just, who want to see Jamal fight Montiel? Who want to see Demetrius fight Williams? Nobody. We want to see these dudes, we want to see these dudes fight each other, and that's just wrong with boxing. I ain't got no issue with the brothers fighting each other. I don't care. But, with him fighting Montiel, I think he going to get a lot of backlash. He going to be all yelling on social media, cussing, and, fuck y'all, and this, that, and the third. It is what it is. But you can't defend it no more. We would have seen him fight Benavidez. We didn't ask him to fight Benavidez. He opened his mouth and said he'll knock him out. I want to see it. And I think he can win that fight. But Benavidez is nasty. But right now, Benavidez is a lot to learn. A lot to learn for Benavidez. Why not get him while he's young? But then there's no belt, but fuck a belt. It's clout. It ain't even clout, it's status. It's real attention, it's real viewership, but you know how boxing is. The dudes that want to fight and the dudes, they got to end up dealing with the dudes that don't want to fight. So we know what it is. But Terence Crawford said that Virgil Ortiz need a few more fights, which, okay. I heard Robert Garcia said the same thing, but Virgil Ortiz should take a few more fights, and then he'd be ready for a guy like Crawford in about a year and two. Then Crawford going to be like 36 years old, so that might be the perfect time to knock him off if he's still around at welterweight. But, he said he should fight Kyle Velasquez, somebody that's strong, somebody that can punch, somebody that can push him back. And I agree with that. And then, Kyle Velasquez is right in his face, and I think Ortiz will overcome Kyle Velasquez. But we'll give Kyle Velasquez problems is dudes like Ray Robinson that utilize the ring that's box. And where Region, I think, fought him and gave him a good fight, but I think Ortiz would beat Kyle Velasquez. But Kyle Velasquez will be in his face, and he ain't got to find him, though. He ain't got to find Kyle Velasquez. And that should be able to showcase Virgil Ortiz a ray of point. But I think Kyle Velasquez is a good step up. I think Region a good step up. Obviously, they're not going to give him Rashidi Ellis. But I think those are good step-up fights. Sean Porter eventually, Keith Thurman eventually. If he had a 3-fight plan, I'd probably go Kyle Velasquez. This year I'll go Average Kyle Velasquez. If he fight 2 more times this year, it's possible. Then next year I'll probably Sean and Keith Thurman, and then he should be ready to contend with a belt. Maybe Jamal James or somebody like that. That might work for him, but he basically said that Maurice Hooker, he wasn't trying to make no excuses, but he said Hooker won a full 147-pounder. He need to get in there with somebody that's a little bit more stronger, a little bit more accomplished, a little bit less full-fledged 47-pounder. And Kyle Velasquez is a good fighter. When you allow somebody to sit in front of him, and be there, Ortiz is really going to have to use angles. That's how you beat Kyle Velasquez, utilize the ring. But maybe Ortiz can just walk to him and knock him out. And Crawford did that. He walked to him, he took some punishment, and he knocked him out. And I think the same thing is going to happen. Virgil Ortiz eventually is going to walk towards him, break him down to the body. And I don't think Kyle Velasquez fought since he fought Terence Crawford. Maybe he has. I don't really remember. Because Crawford, who just fought Kell Brooks, so maybe Kyle Velasquez here, but that's a good one. There's a lot of good guys out there for Virgil Ortiz. Kyle Velasquez, Bruce Putin, he popped hot. Jamal James or Dennis Ugas win, lose, or draw. Omar Figueroa will be a good fight. He win his next fight. Keith Thurman still out there. It's a lot of guys out there where he ain't got to rush. But if he want to rush, who is Terence Crawford to say no? If he want to fight him, who is Terence Crawford say no? If you get the mandatory, why don't you go ahead and whoop his ass? And, and make him second think about it. We was talking about with Fernando Vargas' brother on Line Killer Podcast last night about, do you think Fernando, went a little early? Well, Fernando Vargas' ass, and Fernando should have had a few more fights, and then he probably would have beat those guys. But You can't knock him off. That's why people don't take a chance. We can't, dude take a chance and we say, oh man, see, this is that, he a bum, this, that, and the third. That was too early. Come on, if he take a chance, we gotta support him. So, Words Ortiz want to do it? Who's Crawford to say no? Let me know what you guys think. Check out the Boxing News playlist and Boxing Rumor playlist. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All my links in the description. Facebook group link there as well too. Want to reach out to me? Want to make a financial donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description. PayPal link there as well too. Best way to donate. Share the video. Goodfellas Sports TV. Appreciate the love and support. One time for the one time. You know what the business is.